Y'all? This is MARJA'KIM, and you're now locked in with DJ Astonish.
You know, it's all love. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
MARJA'KIM, man, salute to you, man, for joining me, man, straight from the Stay side, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure, man. Like I say, man, yeah, man, obviously I'm with the Coalition DJs and, man, I've heard your joints and I'm impressed, man. You're a kid with talent, man.
Thank you.
So, obviously I wanted to get to know you a little bit more and just kind of know where you're about and where you're from and a little bit about you. So, man, so let's start off, man. First off, man, who's MARJA'KIM, man?
MARJA'KIM is, well, first I'll tell you what MARJA'KIM means. It means Immortal Forever Supplanter Chief. So that's just me as a person. I've been through a lot of things, going through. I play football too, so I don't just rap. I play football at D1 college. And so just like through my life, I just been through trials and tribulations and different things that, could have been detrimental to what I had going on if I let it get to me that way, and I always strive through and push through those things and was able to get over those humps. So that's just kind of what my name means. And that's just kind of who I am. I just want people to know that like, it's okay. You can get through things, as long as you put your mind to it, as long as you, have that attitude that nothing's gonna bring you down and that you're just gonna be your own person, no matter who has something to say about it, whether they like it or not. You're just gonna be who you are. That's kind of who I am. I just have, that presence.
Okay, sweet, man. So where are you actually from?
I'm originally from East Orange, New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey over in United States. So yeah.
Okay, New Jersey, nice, man, sweet. And what I know about you, man, you're born into a musical family.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
so, as you know, like I have an uncle, Uncle Kier, KG, Naughty by Nature. My father, he was a manager. He managed John A, Jaheim. He managed also Naughty by Nature. So he sold millions of records himself. So just from being young, I was always kind of just around music. Like when I didn't even know how to talk or even where I was in the stroller with my mom and my dad on music video sets. And I had no clue where I was. So music has always been something that's just been in my life, no matter whether I wanted to or
not. So how old are you now?
I'm 20 years old.
Okay, man. Currently, what's happening in your life right now then, man? Because obviously now, we're seeing you on the music, but like I know you play football and that kind of stuff as well. So how does the sports and the music combine together? How do you juggle that?
So it's kind of like the same attitude I have towards football is kind of the same attitude you gotta have towards making music. It's a competitive thing. You always looking, as you going through this, you start to see where people are kind of always looking for the next big thing as far as music is concerned. So you always have to go in the studio, and when you go in the studio, you kind of have to, make each song you make, you're trying to make a better song than the last best song that you made prior to it. So that's the same way I treat football as well. Like when I go on that field, you could be my friend outside of football, but once you step on the field, you're no longer my friend. Like it's time to lock in for real. So that's just kind of the attitude that I bring towards music as well. I just had that competitiveness and had that, that same drive to work, and just try to be better as an all-around person as far as, football and music is concerned.
So what are your goals, man? What's your goal? What is MARJA'KIM's big ambition? What are you setting out to achieve?
Well, as I've been coming up in the music game now, because I started off playing football, I wasn't always an artist. So as I'm coming up in the music game now, and starting to push my music and starting to do that now, people were trying to tell me like, yo, like you're good at rapping, but you can't do both. You can't play football and rap. Like, because when you gotta go to a show, all this kind of stuff, like how you supposed to do both. So I just been kind of in the space where I'm the type of person where if someone tries to tell me I can't do something, I'm going to show you that I can. So I just been kind of like I said, just applying the same like attributes that I applied to football, kind of applying that to music. And my biggest goal is I want to be the first person to ever successfully be in the NFL and also rap at the same time. So that's my goal.
Well, you know, it's crazy you say that because, you know, there's a famous saying, you know, everything seems impossible until somebody does it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And that's what break barriers down, man. You know, you always get those people that are like, yo, like, why don't you do this? Why didn't you do that? But man, the thing is, this is how pioneers are made. You know, to be a pioneer, man, you have to be the first to do something. So, man, I salute that, man. So, you know, you're working hard.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Well, you've got Party in the Hills out right now, man.
Yes, sir.
And I gotta say, man, you know, you dropped this tune at a really good time because, you know, we're hitting the festive season, the time of year, but also and for me that track has that kind of summer element to it, but it also has like a family, friendship, revival vibe. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it's a real, you know, like I say, you know, and it's a throwback. Anyone who's familiar with, you know, just like old school themselves, man, just a pure old school lover is gonna see that. But you talk about obviously rapping in that. But what I've really captivated and took upon what listening to your music is that you're actually, I won't call you a rapper, you're actually quite an artist. You know, you've got an instrumental voice, a distinctive voice. So, you know, tell me, man, what box, if there is one, do you put yourself in? Would you say you're quite unpredictable? Because, you know, I'm feeling, you know, I'm getting a lot of different influences from your sound, man. Like I'm not hearing one sound.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I kind of like I said, my father has been in this game for quite a long time, and you know, going into the studio when I first started to rap with my father, we all came to grips and to the table that we were all going to do this together. And my father kind of jumped on board with me being an artist. He will always let me know that like I don't have to try to do too hard. I just kind of have to go too hard. I kind of just have to be me. And with me being me, that just comes with all the type of stuff that I go in there. Like I'm a fearless person. So like I said, that goes into the whole thing I'm talking about where I apply the same thing that I apply with rap, with football. Like when I go in that football field, I'm fearless. I'm trying to get in the mix. You know, I'm not afraid to go out there and, you know, put my head and get dirty on the football field, you know, and that's the same way I apply when I walk in the booth. I'm not afraid to, you know, try out different melodies and stuff like that, or go a different way that, you know, may sound different from everything that is being put out right now. Cause I'm just going in there and I'm having fun with the beat and I'm being myself. I ain't trying to be no one else. Like I always say, like when people go in and they, you know, you try to sound like Lil Baby or you try to sound like Lil Durk, you know, you're never going to be better at sounding like Lil Durk or sounding like Lil Baby than Lil Baby or Lil Durk, because that's them. They made it because that was true to them and who they are. So that's just what I do. When I go in there, I just feel like I have a different sound. He always told me too, you want people to be waiting and anticipating your next song because they don't know which way you're gonna go. You know, they don't know what they're gonna hear from you. Oh, is he gonna rap this time? Is he gonna hit me with a melody? Like they don't know. So that's what keeps you, you know, relevant in this time and day and age of you know, rap and stuff like that. When especially when, you know, nowadays people's time like an attention span are way shorter than what it used to be back in the day. Because you know, back in the day, songs would be like 5 minutes long and people would really sit and listen to them. Like nowadays, they don't do that. So you got to be able to catch them within that first, you know, 10, 15 seconds to want to make them listen to the whole song. So I just always come into the booth thinking like, okay, if I start to feel myself fade into something that I feel as though I did already, like a song I kind of, or like a melody that's kind of similar, I'll go completely away from it and I'll try to just go to a different whole melody and flow because I don't want to sound like the last song. Like that's what me and my father, as my manager, he just told me, like, when you go into every single time you go into a song, you just got to remember you can't just keep doing the same thing. Of course, you know, sometimes, you know, you got these songs where that flow that just is so crazy that you have that you just kind of have to do it. It's like, okay, it's like one of those songs, okay, you know, that's like kind of like true to you, but it's something that you do. Sometimes, so it'll be a little bit similar, but other than that, he told me, like, you got to go in there, you got to make sure that you really sitting there and perfecting your craft and going through and trying to find stuff to actually go with the beat rather than just going in there and doing whatever. So, like I said, when I go in there, I just, you know, whatever comes to mind, whatever I feel at the moment, whatever, you know, or when I'm writing this song, I just go with that feeling or emotion. And however it comes to the table, whether it sounds different, completely different, or, you know, I just go with it.
Sure, man. You know, as a musician, what would you say you want people to take from your art?
Like I said before, that you can just be yourself. You know, you don't have to be locked into a box. You know, just because someone else told you that you have to do this, or like my type of music, you know, a lot of people talking about like around my day and age, you know, a lot of the music that's doing a lot of numbers nowadays is people talking about, you know, like street gang stuff and like violence. You know, that's the stuff that's going off right now. So me personally, I never, and that's, I don't have anything against anyone who's, you know, making that kind of music. That's just me personally. That's not something I did when I was growing up. I mean, I was around it all the time, but I decided that I wasn't going to involve myself into that because I seen my friends and how that affected them. So I decided to go a different route. Like I said, again, I don't have nothing against none of the people who do that, but I just, like I said, never did that. So I talk about stuff, like I said, that's true to me, and I just be myself on the song every single time I make a song. So that's what I want people to take away from me, is that you could be yourself no matter who is trying to tell you no, who is trying to, you know, tell you not to. Like I said before, all the trials and tribulations I faced, if I would have just let them tell me no and not just kept continued and pursuing my dreams, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I said, I just want people to take away that just whatever you feel as though you can do, whatever you put your mind to, whatever your dreams and aspirations are, you can obtain them as long as you just stay the course and just keep going.
For sure, man. What do you think has shaped you in the way of, you know, because, you know, for a young guy, man, you got you sound like you got your head on your shoulders for sure, man. Do you think what you would you say, just like I say, life experience, growing up, being around grounded people, what do you think's kind of shaped you?
I would definitely have to give that trophy to my parents. You know, I was growing up, I was grateful to have, you know, and I'm thankful to have both my parents in my life. You know, a lot of my friends grew up, you know, they didn't have a father, or, you know, something happened to their mom or something like that. So a lot of my friends don't have both parents. But I was, you know, I'm gracious to have both of mine. So they just grew me into the man that I am today by letting me know like the mistakes that they made, and you know how parents are. Like they just let you know, like you do something they don't really like you, they're gonna reprimand you, but it's all out of love. They just want the best for you. So that's kind of just what I have to give that trophy to them. Like I said, they just always was there for me and was able to tell me right from wrong. And I cherish my parents dearly, and I just listen to them and what they tell me to do. Growing up.
Yo, for sure, man. For sure. You know, what's your goal now? Because you got Party in the Hills out. What's popping on the music scene right now? So what are we working towards? Are we trying to get the numbers up? Trying to get the are we focused on this single? Have you got like a game plan of what you plan to do as you enter the new year?
Yeah, so I have, you know, two singles out right now. Party in the Hills, I think just hit over 50K, probably around like 54. And then I have another song out that I put out probably like a month or 2 weeks ago. That song is at around like almost like over 120,000 right now on YouTube. So that stuff is going crazy. So I'm really right now just kind of focusing on those two singles right now and trying to, you know, put those in the best situations that those supposed to be before I start dropping new music as of right now. But I do have a lot of stuff in the vault, and I do have a lot of ways that I can go with different music. Right now, behind the scenes, that's kind of what we're doing too. We're trying to figure out which way we want to go. What do we want to touch? What genre do we want to touch now? Because, like I said, my whole vault that I have is just a plethora of music of just different type of, you know, stuff that genres that I didn't touch. That, you know, we just looking through that. But right now, I'm definitely focused on Party in the Hills and Lit as far as those are two singles, and focusing on blowing those up more and kind of getting, you know, people more in tune with me as an artist and getting to know me and getting more in tune with those songs, so that now we know those two songs, so then we can keep building from that and just keep going up.
You know, obviously you said you've been doing, you know, you've been in the music for, you know, like doing it for a long time kind of thing, growing up and that. But like, what brought this point in your life to say, okay, now this is the time we drop music and make it happen?
So when you say I've been doing it, I just was around it, so to speak.
Okay.
Like I wasn't in it. I wasn't really doing it. I was just like around it because, you know, I'm friends with a lot of people who are like have a musical based background. I'm around like Lauren Hill's kids. I be with them. Like I'm cool with them. Like I'm close with them. So like I by default, you know, I'm always hearing her, you know, and around. you know, because you know she's a great artist. Lauryn Hill, she's one of the greatest to ever do it. So I'm around that, and just like my family, period, just been in the music game for a long time too. So, you know, yeah, that's just kind of how everything goes the way it goes. You know,
Mm.
I kind of didn't start doing it because I wanted to. I mean, of course, it was because I wanted to, but the people around me, kind of so to speak, saw that I had a gift more so than myself,
Mm.
and told me like, "Yo, like, look, like, because my brother, I'm gonna tell you the story. So my brother, um, I was in my friend's house and they were rapping, and you know, so Lauren Hill's kids and all that kind of stuff like that, they were rapping, and there were kind of kids around the way who had like a buzz locally. So like they were had like 100,000 plays and stuff on SoundCloud and stuff like that. Like they were going a little crazy. So you know they were rappers, but I was always playing football. Like that's what I did ever since I was 5, and I was just focused on going to the NFL per se. And my friend was in his room, and he was the first person out of us to have like an in-home studio, like have his stuff at home where he was rapping on like his own stuff at home, kind of trying to figure that out, like the in-home studio stuff. And so he had a beat that a producer had sent to him, and he was like playing around, like you know, Playboy Cardi. Back then, you know, that used to be like what still is, but one of the people I look up to in the game, you know, one of my favorite artists, especially the old Playboy Cardi. Um, yeah, and he started doing like a melody, like Playboy Cardi would do something like this on the beat. And when he did it to the beat, I was like, oh, that actually sounds kind of fire. You should do that. So he did it. And then next thing you know, he did the hook, and then he just turned to me and he was like, yo, get on the song. And I'm like, get on the song. He's like, yeah, get on the song. I'm like, I don't really know about that. And this has probably had to be like around like what 2.5, 3 years ago now.
Mm.
So I kind of been doing that ever since then. And I wasn't trying to really get on the song. I kept saying like, nah, I don't want to. He just kept like, yo, get on the song, bro. Like, ain't nobody gonna hear this. This is just gonna be for like me, us, and our friend group. Because you know, it was more of us in the house. It was 3 of us in the room, but we used to always be over there because we were like close friends. So it was like probably around like 6 of us over there, so 7. And so the other people was downstairs making waffles. Actually, they were making waffles, some Eggo waffles, and then he played my part back after I said, you know what, forget it, I'll just get on the song because it's just for the all the homies, like it's just for us. So ain't nobody gonna hear it. I got on the song and he played it out loud, and they all came running up the stairs like, yo, play that back, play that back, play that back. And I'm like, I'm looking, it was kind of off guard because I'm not expecting this, especially because I'm not an artist. Like I don't do this. Like this is just fun. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it kind of threw me off. I'm like, wait, are they doing this just because of my friends, or is like they actually like genuinely rock with this? Oh, so finally I sent the song to my brother that same day, and he called me in like 5 minutes. And he was like, yo, when you start rapping? So immediately I kind of went into like defense mode, like, yo, chill. It was just like a joke, like, you know. And he was like, nah, like that song is actually good. Like, yo, like that's hard. Like when you start doing that. So when he said that too, I was kind of like, wait, whoa, like cause now this is my brother too, and my brother's gonna tell me for real, like if he whether he likes something or not, he really gonna let me know. So I'm like, oh, okay, wow. So that's when he called me back like 5 minutes later. He was in the car with my cousin. My cousin had got out in the middle of traffic and he was like dancing in the middle of the street to my song. So I'm taking it all of this in, and I'm kind of like, whoa, like, okay, like maybe I can, but I don't know. So then my brother goes to college and he plays D1 basketball, and I start going to his basketball games. And as I'm at his basketball games, he had started showing like people and stuff around the campus like my song, and they were coming up to me during the basketball games. Like my brother's name is Asante, and they're like, "Are you Asante's little brother?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Yeah, like, oh my God, we love your song. Can you drop it, please? Like your brother shows us, but he would never send it to us." Like, so now this is outside people coming up to me like, "Oh my God, like I love your song." So and the song's not even out yet. Meanwhile, so I'm like, "Oh, okay." That's when I started to more like, oh, okay, like so. At that time, I had started just making music as a hobby, and then my brother sat me down, and he was like hearing the music I was making. My brother sat me down. He was like, yo, you have a talent, bro. I really think you should use it. And he started like breaking numbers down to me, like, yo, like Lil Durk just went and did 3 concerts this weekend, and he made 100,000 a concert. That's 300,000 he just made in a weekend just for using his voice and the talent that he gave him, that he just loves to do, is just natural to him. He don't gotta really, work too hard. He can just be himself. And I'm like, I start really thinking about it, like, yo, that is true. And he started breaking it down, like, the NFL is not guaranteed. Like, everybody plays football because you want to go to the NFL, but it's not guaranteed. Like, you're not certified going to the league just because you play football. So he's like, you got to have a plan B. You got to have something to lean back on just in case things don't work out on the other end. And he's like, you and using your voice and the type of voice you have, he's like, yo, you can really use your voice to really do something big and really be one of the biggest artists to ever, touch a microphone. When he said that, kind of clicked to me, and then I'm like, okay. I started thinking about it even more. Okay, and then he showed my mom, and my mom told me she heard my music, like she told me she started looking at me. She almost came to tears. She was like, oh my God, like you're really so good. Like she was like, if I was a younger girl, I would really like listen to you as like one of my favorite artists right now. Like, so when my mom told me that was just the end all be all. My mom, she gonna tell me like, look, you need to just stick to playing football if that wasn't the case, but she loved my music. So after that was said, that's when I really started locking into the music and kind of doing it for real. And I've been working on my music for kind of like, 2 years now or so, for real, like actually trying to be an artist. And my father, him being in the game, he just kept telling me like, look, like, I got a plan for all of this. My brother went and sat my father down and told my father, like, yo, like, your son, like, he got a gift. Like, y'all two could do damage in this game. You already done did this. You done sold millions of records. So now with your son being, the type of artist and a great artist, like, y'all two working together to do that, that would be the easiest thing. Like, and my whole family is my team. So that's who I'm around each and every day. We all have jobs in this situation. My label is called We Never Done Entertainment. We all do different stuff for the label. So I just grace, like I said, to have all the people around me that I have, and they push me every day and make me go harder every day. And every single day I think about them, and that's what gives me the strength to do what I do today.
Mm-hmm. Well, man, that's the story. And, with what you got going off in your life, man, there's a lot. So, tell me, a typical day right now for you, because, I know you're doing a lot of practice with the football and that, obviously the music. So how often do you get a chance to go in the studio and actually make music? Like,
so kind of like I made a lot while I was home. Like I have like I said, my vault is so filled up with just so many different genres of music and just so much different things that I did while I was home that I accumulated. I was just making songs and making songs and making songs and making songs. That my vault is just so like heavy. But also down here, we have a tour bus that because we're from Jersey, but we have a connect down here. We have a tour bus where the same tour bus actually Lil Wayne used to make his tape on the tour bus too. Yeah. And we're down here over here by Memphis, so we have that come through, and I'll get on there. My engineer came down here, and we'll get on the bus and we'll just make it on the bus. So kind of not often, because while in season, but often enough to where I can get multiple songs out, and then I can kind of sit on those like 6 songs or so, like 5 songs or so, for like a good couple of weeks, and then I'll go like 3 weeks or so, and then I'll come back and go again and then make more music, just while football season is going on. But once football season is over, I'm in the studio every day. Make a song.
Working for sure, man.
Yeah.
So have you managed to touch down and do any shows? Yeah, is that something we're working towards?
Yeah, I did 2 shows since I've been down here on college campus. We had Homecoming recently at TSU, Tennessee State University. I did Homecoming. There was a lot of people there. That was like my first like real big concert I ever did. It was a lot. I think it was like probably between 7,000 and 9,000 people in the stand. So I did that venue. That was a great venue. And I did another like little like party that they have like some freshmen in my freshman class on campus. So that's the only 2 shows since I've done since I've been out here, but they were great shows, and I appreciate all the love and support that everybody was giving me.
Plenty more to come then, man. It sounds like you're going in straight in the deep end.
Yeah.
Usually that's the best way, man, for sure. And tell me, would you say you get stage fright, or are you quite confident going up in front and performing?
Believe it or not, I kind of like, even with football, like when I first get onto the football field for a football game, it's kind of like, there's no stage fright. You just kind of like don't know like what to expect. Like, oh, okay, like what's gonna happen today? Like, how is this gonna go? It's kind of like trying to anticipate things before you go out there. Like, oh my, like, is it gonna go like this? Or like, I know I rehearsed it like this, but will this happen? Like, it's thoughts in my head that I'll just be having, sometimes like before going out there. But once I go out there, just like football, and it starts, it's like all that just goes away. I just kind of feel in my element. I just get into, what I'm supposed to do. And I just kind of feel, it's kind of weird, but I feel like it's not really different to me. Even though I never really done it before, it doesn't feel different to me. Like, it's not something like I feel like I have to get used to. Like, I kind of be feeling like I'm kind of used to it already, especially once I get in the moment of doing it.
For sure, man. So I want to just touch down on obviously like the singles right now. How do you come about putting out your singles? So like Pioneer Hill, what made that to say we're going to drop this now, man? What made it that be the track, considering you got so much music in the vault?
So just when I first shot that video, it was kind of in the summer, and it was just a summer anthem. Those old school beats and stuff like that is just like, I grew up listening to all that because that's what my parents and stuff listened to. They got old soul, so it kind of gave me a little bit of an old soul. And I just wanted to remember, I was just kind of basically really reminiscing those times where music was just like feel good music. It wasn't just like about killing or shooting everybody all the time. Kind of wanted to be on a different type of timing because everybody's doing that. Like, that's what everybody's like resorting to. And like I said, again, I don't have nothing against nobody who makes that kind of music if that's what they into. But just me personally, I don't want to be like talking about like stuff like that all the time. And, because that kind of comes with being sad a little bit. So I want when people come listen to my music for me to uplift them and bring them joy, So that's kind of how I go about, making my music. When I made that song, it was just summertime. It was a feel good song. And it was a great video. So that's just how we came about putting that song out. How we did, especially when we came down here, we were showing people down here, and everybody was like loving it down here. So we were like, okay, this is obviously a record that a lot of people will feel, a lot of people will love, and make people feel good. With us trying to introduce me as an artist, it just was the right. We felt to go. Me and my team, when we sat down, we felt to go. It's the right way to bring people into me, to let them know that I make feel good music. So how that was.
Yeah, man, definitely feel good music because obviously, like I say, I mean, Lit and Pioneer Hills, man, they both like, man, they're both just like takes you back, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think you see, music for me is like, it's it influences. The different types of music gives us, influences our moods. You listen to something like the Rocky soundtrack, it makes you feel pumped. You're listening, you know what I mean? So different elements, man. And that, it just makes me want to party, makes me want to just like, I don't know, just, just feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think, that's what makes timeless music. Those songs that actually make you feel good.
Yeah.
So,
that's another thing that my father said to me too. You want to make something like, you talking about all that other stuff, like in certain areas and certain places, that stuff can't be played, because of what they're talking about. Not that it's a bad song or anything like that, but just because of what they're talking about, it just doesn't call for certain situations. And so I also wanted to make music to where, like you said, just timeless music, because it can be played anywhere in any situation that you're in. It doesn't have any attachments to it to where like, oh, if I'm here, I can't really play something like that. You could just play it anywhere, like no matter if you in the ball, if you in prom, like you just play it anywhere and just anyone can listen to it at any time. So that's kind of where that timeless music piece comes into, and ties into things. And that's what my father told me and when he was showing me the ropes as far as how to really make it far in this game and really be on top. That's how you do that, by making it timeless music. So that's the way to do it. So why not?
Yo, for sure, man. Well, MARJA'KIM, man, you got my support for sure, man. No doubt, man.
Sure.
you know, you're like I say, man, you're definitely someone I'm gonna watch out for, no doubt, because you know, every now and then, you know, you come across certain artists, and you know, some people's music is great, and you just hear it, and then you hear certain people, and you're thinking, wow, this person's in their lane. And when I heard you, I was like, man, you know, it was like, I don't know, it was like hearing a Jack Keys who can rap. Do you know what I mean? At the same time, that's what it was like. I was like, oh, this guy's got some serious vocals, just ravey sound. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just thinking, you know, I can see you as, and particularly as an artist. I always say this. I mean, I'm an international DJ. You know, I work out in America. I work out here in the UK, and you know, and I've got links in different areas of Europe, and so I'm very familiar with global sounds. And you know, anyone can make music. But to have a sound that is appealing to all audiences, different nationalities, man, it's, you know, it's a true blessing, and you definitely got that, man. Like, you know, I can hear you.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, I can hear you like in the clubs. I can hear you on the radios out here. Like, you've got that sound, man. So, you know, definitely keep doing what you're doing, man, because it's big potential for sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I will. For sure, keep going in the lane I'm in. It's kind of got me a little bit as far as I'm going now. So, you know, we can't stop now.
100, man. Yo, man, the train's already moving off the tracks, man. So, oh, man. For sure. Well, you know what, man? You know, like I say, man, you know, you got my support, man. There's no doubt we're going to be staying in contact, man. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm always back in and out of the States side for sure. I'm out back in the States in January anyway. So, you know, we never know if I pass my cross, man. But I'm definitely going to have you in rotation out here.
Appreciate it.
For sure, man. And, you know, you just keep doing that good stuff, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got you.
You know, it's all love. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? For sure.